Hello everyone and welcome to another video on channel Trevor-The-Timmy. If you'd be so kind as to consider liking and subscribing, would definitely appreciate that. Today we'll be going over Time Spiraled and Remastered, the white cards, specifically the time-shifted ones. So we'll jump right into that. And first we're going to start with one of my favorite cards of all time, Thraben Inspector. Just a really good one-drop, just a 1/2 body. It's a relevant creature type being a human, so could be played in any of the humans decks, whether that's in Pioneer or potentially in Modern. And just replacing itself with that Investigate, creating a clue, is a huge deal. It looks great in the old art, personally, or the old frame, so pretty excited about that overall. Next, we have Ethereal Armor. Just again, in Pioneer for the most part. I think sometimes the Boggles decks in Modern will play them. Just a great aura, really pumping up your one guy, just making him huge. Playable in both formats. Again, looks pretty nice in the old border. Good addition. Then we've got Containment Priest. So this is very much so in Legacy against your sneak and show type decks. Definitely playable in Modern too, with it being printed there. So a nice addition as an old frame card. Could definitely see it fitting into both of those formats, especially Legacy is where these are mostly targeted at, or EDH. This is EDH playable for sure, so pretty excited to have that. And we'll continue on with Strom Senior Edificer, excuse me. With this is again in that Auras deck in Pioneer specifically is where I see this most often. There's kind of the cool vehicles deck with the giant ox that I've seen pop up once or twice there. If you haven't seen that, I definitely recommend going and taking a look. It's kind of a cool, unique deck where you have the ox and the consulate flagship, I believe it is, the 7/1 or 7/11, excuse me, that you can crew for 6, so the ox can crew it right away. Just a cool card. I think it's also pretty playable in EDH. If you're any kind of aura or equipment deck in EDH, or I suppose vehicle, I think that's less common. You definitely want to play this guy just to continue drawing cards and refueling. Intangible Virtue. So I believe this is more of a casual card than it is anything else. I know years ago there was a token deck in Modern, but overall just a cool reprint in that frame. I expect it to be more of a casual card than anything else, but it does look nice. Looking at a Johnny's Pridemate. So again, just another casual card, goes into the life gain type decks, but I could see people being pretty excited about this. I suppose if you have a life gain EDH deck, you could play it. I don't think there's a lot of play for this anywhere outside of that. Flicker Wisp. So this is just a staple in Death and Taxes decks, particularly in Legacy, where you can do all kinds of shenanigans with flashing things, or flashing it in at the end of the turn with Vial. This is definitely a great Legacy reprinting or printing in the old border to just fit into the feel of that format. Also playable in Modern in the same type of Death and Taxes decks that are a little powered down, being in Modern. And finally in EDH, also just a playable card, getting to redo your ETBs or potentially clear out a blocker for a big attack is very powerful. You got Mirror Entity. This is almost exclusively an EDH card at this point. I believe there was a time where it was a more competitive card, but just a good finisher. Make your entire team large, depending on how much mana you want to pump into it. It does have that shapeshifter theme, so it fits any tribal deck. So I think this will be a popular one for EDH. Stoneheart Dignitary. This is, again, an EDH card. I believe there's, in the Modern Yorion Blink decks, they'll potentially play one from what I've seen. Just basically stopping the opponent from being able to attack you at all is good when you're playing the long, grindy deck. I would expect this to be mostly continue to see play in EDH, though. But if you're looking for a way to add some spice to your EDH deck, there's some really good options here in white. Another Legacy staple, Palace Jailer of Death and Taxes. Just an incredibly strong card for that format. Just drawing every single turn. The fact that you get to exile a creature, you generally are exiling their Delver, and then just burying them in card advantage. So it's great to see these cards get their old frame and fit right into that format. We got Restoration Angel, which I personally love this art on it as well. I think it's a nice addition to that border. Really just a casual or EDH card at this point. I think Modern has really passed it by. But if you want to play in any of those, I do think it looks very nice. It's a really nice touch for Restoration Angel, which is a favorite. A lot of people really love this card, and rebuying the ETBs is just great. And then finally here we've got Sigil of the Empty Throne, really an enchantment style card. Being an enchantment, it's only going to be useful in those type of decks, but if you are building around that in EDH or Commander, it's really just a top card. Getting to constantly pump out angels as you're casting enchantments is really strong. That's really the only place that I would see play. So those are our exciting reprints so far for Time Spiral Remastered. Not quite up to the power level of blue, as is pretty common. If you'd like to go see that video, go ahead and take a look as well. Again, I'd appreciate anyone considering liking and subscribing. We'll go through all of the reprinted old border cards, the cards added to Reborder that are reprints as they come out. So you can just stay tuned here to view them all. And thank you everyone for watching. Have a great day.